can't hear the theme song at all. Let's try that again. You're almost humming it perfectly.
Super duper cereal.
Hey-o. You almost hummed the theme song, like, not nearly perfectly, but you were humming closer than I expected.
Trying to hum? Did you know what I was humming?
I have no idea what you were humming.
Really? No?
I heard the theme song mostly. Oh, I didn't really hear the tune because I can't. I don't know if I could distinguish two tunes over each other. I'm not sure.
Never tried it before. I can't even comprehend what you're
Well,
talking
I just failed, so.
Yeah. That's all right. What are you drinking? Water?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Look at you, Mr. Haircut. Looking good.
I think I had my hair cut. No, my hair was cut. It's just going the other way now.
Really? You got like the fade. You got the
longer.
fade though,
it's
and the
longer.
You look like it's a very 2017, 2018 men's haircut. I dig it.
I don't know. I just sat down and said, "Do my hair." That's what I've always.
Well, that's what
done.
they will do. They'll give you a modern haircut when you say that.
Yeah, but exactly. And you know what they'll do is, I don't mind it like it. I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to get up and do my hair in the morning.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that.
If you want people to respect you.
Is that a subconscious? Wow, look at you. It's your subconscious.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you show up to work with your hair all fucked up, people you have to tell to do shit are going to be like...
I definitely don't want to well, that's probably one of the reasons why I've always had my head shaved.
I mean, they might listen to you, but then as soon as you turn away, like, do you see fucking CJ's hair? Are you fucking kidding me?
There's no reason my hair can't be on a schedule. I need to be on a schedule.
Why can't?
Well, just one more thing into my schedule.
Your routine? Sure.
My routine, right?
Yeah, why not?
Just one more little bit of stability. And hopefully I'll make it, Jay. One day I'll be a star.
Or you can go my route. You can go the route I took.
Yeah.
I don't know. My barber actually hit me up the other day.
Your barber hit you up?
Yeah, he's like, well, I just want, it was clearly like a mass text, to, actually, no, first he did send a mass text letting all his clients know that he's at a new spot. And then, like, maybe a couple weeks later, he hit me up, like, personally, and was like, hey, man, how you been? You still in Asheville? And I was like, yeah, and just so you know, I do not have a new barber. I just started buzzing my hair. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever, that's cool. But I guess he's buying a barber shop, which is pretty neat. Yeah.
Watch this, dude. I'm going to zoom your camera out. Let's see if I did it. Because I felt like I was consistent.
I think it's already zoomed out.
It is.
Because you can see the couch here pretty good.
Got ya.
My little podcast nook.
Your nook.
Yeah.
I got a little nook too, dude. It is a little nook.
Yeah.
The walls are pretty. Yeah, the walls are right there.
Yeah, I have that curtain right here, and I have the couch here.
See, I have absolutely no clue what your place looks like.
No, you don't.
Absolutely no idea.
I could give you a video tour one day, and you could wrap your head around it a little bit. I mean, God forbid you ever come to visit me. I've only been down here 2.5 years, but, it's no big deal. It's not like you have responsibilities or anything. Yeah,
it's easier for you. You have one body you need to move.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? And only one body you need to be away from. I have multiple bodies. Either way.
Well, that's not my problem. It's yours, so I don't know.
It's not a problem. You're the one complaining about me not being with you. Wow. Hardcore. Good for you. It is that season.
Yeah, dude, it's rough.
Just a lean over blow away, dude. Good for you. And you're going at it still. I love it.
I got Vicks Vapor Rub in my mustache right now.
I don't think I'd be able to do that.
I got to do something.
I got to do something.
It's actually really nice for when I lay down to go to bed, and I put it.
That's what I would. Yeah,
mix it with a little peppermint oil.
Yeah, but you know what? What you're doing is smart, probably because it's going to get it out.
I don't know
because you're going to be able to breathe more often. It's going to get it out better.
It seems like me being.
Oh, sorry for that one.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like if I'm more hydrated, my allergies are better. But I don't really know if that's true.
I would think so because you're flushing more stuff out on a regular basis, but then at the same time, maybe because of the moisture.
I just don't. I'm not sure if it makes a
I don't
difference
know.
at all, one way or the other. But it's an
Placebo-wise,
excuse for
I
me
bet you
to.
it would.
I mean, what doesn't?
What doesn't? Yeah, exactly. No. So what's up, man? What are we-
Nothing.
what are
You
we
said you had a
talking about?
you had a dream. You had a dream
I had
about
a
me.
dream about you. Okay, so I had this dream that I was driving down my parents' road. It was my parents' road, like in my mind. It was my parents' road. I was
shit.
pulling up off of Meriden onto Todd,
Uh
and when I did, I passed Jessica before I took the left on my parents' road.
huh. Okay.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was Jessica!" And I drive up the road, and she was in a house that you pull in from the other side on Meriden. So I'm like, and then as I'm
She's
pulling up, I'm
fast.
like, no, and then I'm like, all of a sudden I like catch the two of you outside,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I kind of been like, just I've really been living here this whole time, man. Right around the corner all this whole time, and I was like, what the
You
like,
fucking asshole.
bro, like no, like kind of yeah, but at the same time I was like,
Why?
and then all of a sudden my brain went to your serial killer, and I woke up.
You're a serial killer. What are you hiding, dude?
You're hiding.
What is it? What is this really about?
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what's crazy. But it wasn't like a real scary feeling of you being a serial killer. It was kind of. I bet you I started laughing, and that's probably what made me wake
Yeah.
up. I was like, yeah, because I didn't think much more about it until I actually talked to you
Right.
today. But yeah, that was it. That was the dream. It was good to see you because I got to hug you.
Okay.
I got to hug you, Jake. Like I hugged you last night in my dream. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a good one. So that was cool. I think it had a lot to do with what you said to me yesterday too, man. So we'll just move on from that. Listen, what are we talking about tonight? Because I know I'm very excited about playing GTA tonight with the possibility, ladies and gentlemen, whoever listen and ever know me and Jake, we really enjoy a co-op game. We finally got one, and we have the possibility to have 5 people total, including us. So it's really only 3 more people, but they're gonna game with us. And we
What?
might be able to cooperatively get stuff done. And it's so
And for us
corny,
to get
but
one
I'm, like,
other
so
person.
excited.
For us to get one other person.
one other
It's
person.
a struggle.
I was so pumped about Nick, dude. I'm like so happy Nick's gonna game. When Nick
Yeah.
told me, like at the end of the day, he was like, I think I might be able to game, man. I think I might be able to game tonight. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people. I'm so glad he does this with us.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, dude. He's fun. He's funny, dude.
Yeah,
he's
he's
a good
re-
dude. Yo. I
he's
like him a lot.
really funny.
He's really funny. He is.
But yeah, so our topic for today,
Speaking of which,
speaking of Grand Theft Auto, maybe it's the poster child for violent video games. It's the one that's always gotten brought up in every debate about violent video games. That's our topic: violence, guns, and violence in media, video games and movies,
media,
right?
In just
Yeah.
just violence itself. Any types of violence, dude. That
Do me a favor, bring up the YouTube stream on your phone right now. Look at it, or on your computer. Do it on your computer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Violence in video games and all that kind of stuff, man. It's one of those. Does it create that thing that makes more people violent? Does it?
No. But let's get into that. Hold on, I'll be right back, dude. I have to get another tissue. So you just ramble for a second while you look that up.
I don't know
Describe
why.
describe what you see, or do whatever. I'll
I
be right
see
back.
it's us. I'm here. It's right in
What?
my.
You see
ear.
what?
It's got that weird delay. Us live streaming.
Do you see any sort of graphics that you don't normally see?
I didn't even really pay that much attention. I gotta be honest, dude. But now me looking shit up on this, just go do something. Now I have to talk all by myself. He's already gone. Like a poof in the mist. I get back to my regular camera. He diverts me, sends me to a place that I shouldn't be paying attention to. It's not like there's a group of people here. It's just me and him. And now I gotta sit alone, looking at Danny DeVito and that weird thing that I can't zoom in enough to enjoy. But it's all right. But he sent me on YouTube, and I don't want to do that. And we're going to be talking about violence in video games. I love video games. I've been playing video games my entire life, forever. For as long as I can remember, my parents had Atari when I was very young. So now I've watched the evolution of video games. And because I've seen the evolution of video games, I can see where the potential for graphics have totally, completely changed in a video game world. So graphically, the things that can be seen in a lot of video games are extremely violent, extremely shocking. And I do believe it is a desensitization that could occur in a human being, you know, weak-willed, that would see something so violent that it could affect you in a negative way, to create an interest almost in something like that. It's a very scary thing, I think, in a lot of ways, because I've thought about it a lot, because I'm an avid video gamer. I'm an avid, you know, I like movies. I like superhero movies or violent, you know, shoot 'em up movies and stuff like that. And seeing stuff portrayed in certain ways can be a bad influence on people because of an excitement that it might bring, and or even like Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street's a good example, because it like portrayed drug use and stuff like that, and the strive for money created this sense of like, whoa, you know, balling out and it'd be having a ball, but it has effects on people. I think it really does. Whether you can take it as a negative, you know, and people will take it negatively, or people could take it positively. But I think influences that we have as human beings with media and everything, and movies and all the different influx that we have from a screen that we can watch and seems and feels real, can have a very negative effect on us. As a species, it could. It really can. It's a scary thing to think about, man, because it's a numbing in a lot of ways.
I actually disagree completely with you. And I think this is one of the few
awesome.
things.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
and
it is awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have settled into one of the greatest conversations Jake and Joey have ever had.
Yeah, we didn't prepare for this at all with each other.
No.
So I didn't really know what you were going to come at it with. I actually kind of expected you to come at my perspective. I didn't think that you were going to feel like that. I didn't think that you thought that about it, to be honest with you.
I didn't really know I felt like that until I started really monologuing how I felt about that.
Okay. Well,
Well,
why don't I monologue for a sec and see if maybe
this is going to be the one that both of us have to listen to.
Yeah, maybe. So my whole thing, I don't believe that at all. I don't think that they might. All right, here's the thing. We're animals, first of all. We are an animal. We're hyper intelligent, you know what I mean? Like, we're way more intelligent than most other things on the planet, sure. But we're not very far removed from very, very violent species, and our history is riddled with war. Our current
at all from a violent species.
Okay then. So what I'm saying is, before TV existed, before radio existed, I mean, just think 100 years ago, people were still violent. People still murdered each other. People still a much higher part of the population was willing to volunteer and go into war before all of this, and kill other people and kill other people.
And do you know what, dude? That's the other thing too, man. Were horrible massacres back in the day not written about?
No, they were. There's plenty of massacres that you can read about people. I mean, think about what Genghis Khan did, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't play Grand Theft Auto and learn about that and get conditioned to be desensitized. You know what I me? Like, granted, yes.
Completely changed my mind. This is it. The podcast is over, ladies and gentlemen.
It's over. But what I just my whole point is that.
That's a very valid point, and it never even crossed my mind in a lot of aspects where I was like, yeah, dude, this isn't different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that video games or movies should or shouldn't have violence. I mean, I'm okay with it, and I think that a healthy person can consume it in a way that doesn't fuck with them. But I think that it's really important to have ways in your life, especially men, are competitive by nature, can be aggressive by nature, and you have to have a safe outlet for that kind of stuff. You have to have a way to get out your aggression, to expend your testosterone and stuff like that. And if you don't have a healthy way to do that, then maybe I could see some violence having a negative effect on you. But even if you weren't, you might that shit still might toil around in your brain anyway, because it's very, I mean, you don't have to be shown a movie with guns to have the desire to kill people. To make them make them not exist anymore.
Right.
They might show you a way that you might be able to go about doing it, but I mean, you might seek that out otherwise. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
it's
got
the
a
whole.
very valid point. Yeah. I didn't even realize. Like I said, dude, I didn't even realize I felt the way I thought I felt, dude. But now that you're saying that, it's true. People are going to do the things that they're going to do regardless.
Yeah, man,
I
I really do believe that. I mean, it's that. Yeah, sure. I mean, so I guess I would say, I think I can pretty much say that I'm like a pro gun person. I don't have any guns, but I don't have any problem with anyone owning guns. And you and I have had this conversation too. That like I really do believe that if you're gonna have a gun, you really need to take all the proper safety precautions. And I know you, just for the record, you are somebody who absolutely does that. You know your weapons inside and out. You clean them regularly. You can, you do all the things that a proper gun owner should do. Absolutely, 100%. You train on it. You know how to use it in a way that is going to help you in the extremely unlikely event. And I know you even understand it's extremely unlikely, but if the event occurs that you have to use that weapon to defend yourself, hope to God it never happens. But if it does, you're very well prepared for it.
Jake, it really deep down bothers me that I feel like I want to have a gun.
Yeah.
It upsets me, dude. Jake, you know me, dude. I am a very passionate.
You're absolutely not a violent person.
Jake, I legitimately, for a long time, dude, feel like I need to have a gun on me and know how to use it.
Yeah.
And to be able, I don't know, dude. It does. It bothers me. My father.
And you literally, and the thing is too, you live in like a heavily like suburban area around like a bunch of other like non-threatening people and you know what I mean, and you're a very large person, you know what I mean, like
I'm not a victim. No, I'm not somebody it's
unlikely
it's like we're gonna rob that guy.
And you still feel that way.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm a big guy with a big stature.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't want to fight me.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't want to fight you.
I wouldn't want to fight me. So as long as I still feel like I wouldn't want to fight me. But then again, that's probably I'd probably get my ass kicked by so many people. But maybe that's why I carry a gun.
Well, I mean,
because this is the thing. No, you know what, dude? Carrying a firearm on me, dude, has made me extremely more calm in a lot of situations. Not because I was overly aggressive before.
Yeah. No, because
even the smallest thing that I can see some other person having the ability to escalate a situation. If I reacted in the improper way, man, it would be escalated.
Well, it's almost like if you were trained in like a highly lethal martial art, you know what I mean? You by consequence, you end up less of a confrontationist. You know what I mean? Yeah. You end up more of a pacifist and a pacifist. You're learning how to de-escalate and stuff like that, which is a way more powerful weapon anyway. To know how to de-escalate a situation. That's an offensive thing. You know what I mean? It's an offensive thing to have de-escalation skills. You know, and I think that I would wager to say that a lot of people who have guns are not the type of people who are good at de-escalating. And if I'm wrong about that, I apologize to whoever's out there. But I feel like the typical I don't even want to say the typical, but what's painted as the typical gun owner is somebody who's like, I wish somebody would run up on me with my fucking guns.
Oh, dude, I've seen dude.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to make too much generalization, but I feel like if that's your mentality, then you shouldn't have a fucking gun. No. Well, if you're like, I wish somebody would make me use my fucking gun, you should definitely not have a gun. You should like a highly trained martial artist, a lethal martial artist, you should be thinking, I hope I never, ever have to use this on anybody. I pray.
Well, this is, you know what, dude? Like, so you're thinking about the martial arts, dude, the pinnacle of martial arts, dude, and all the different martial arts and everything like that. Is you want to be able to take out your opponent as fast as possible.
Yeah. Right.
But if somebody's not going to stop with a single move that
you're not going to kill them.
Somebody's not going to stop with a single move that you would do martial art wise, and you felt the need that the confrontation was going to be at that point, dude. Pulling a gun out is going to be completely different than trying to defend yourself in a situation.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it depends on the situation.
If your mind was like, that's it, kill or be killed.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's like if you're across the room from someone with a gun and you're trained enough that you know that when they turn their head, you can pull your gun out and get a shot on them. Yeah. Just something to stop them or whatever. Or something that you think it's totally different than somebody being unarmed close quarters with you and you knowing how to get them in a chokehold and put them to sleep. So it's like all depends on, you know,
Your
I mean,
situation. Yeah, dude.
yeah, maybe you should learn it all. Maybe you should have guns and learn a ton of martial arts, you know, and de-escalation techniques.
But this is the thing, though. That goes to show you the violence that you're right. Absolutely. Video games and movies didn't create the violence that already exists in human beings.
No way, dude.
It's been there forever, dude.
No
it's
way.
Animalistic. It's something beyond what we.
Because if that was the case, then why do the people make the shit in the first place? Where did that come from?
Yeah. It all starts with a guy with a stick, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Absolutely. 100%. It's crazy. But like there is certain games and certain things, dude, that I do think people should really pay attention to what they let their kids play, dude. And what they let their kids
Yeah, I think kids are a little bit of a different thing. Because
young kids, dude,
they're
like,
so
dude,
they're so
watching
impressionable.
Scary movies when I was kid, dude. Like I didn't really start watching gory, crazy shit until I was like 18.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, seeing all that stuff, like I'm comfortable with it, dude. I've dealt with like crap situations, real situations of people being hurt and injured and like bad wounds and stuff like that. And you could get through something like that in the situation, dude. But having the desensitize, it does. I feel like in a lot of ways it could have the ability to desensitize somebody.
Yeah, but to
to
desensitize someone is not the same thing as making them want to hurt another person. It's not the same thing at all.
Yeah, you've got it right.
You know what I mean?
Correct, but the comfort level that somebody could find in seeing something like that really in front of them.
Well, I mean, being desensitized to someone being dismembered in front of you, I mean, is that really like a really bad thing? Because if you're desensitized to it, you're more likely to be able to take action in an emergency situation as opposed to just totally flipping your shit, dude. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm absolutely a kind of person who does not freak out in emergency situations. I've been in multiple of them where I kept a cool head and did what the fuck I had to do and handled it. You know, nothing too crazy, thank God. But there have been I've had to legit had to rescue kids from drowning, and I'm not a lifeguard. You know, I had that emergency situation with Jessica recently that I handled very well. You know, I was driving down the road one day and a lady had gotten run off the road and her car was in a giant fireball and she was losing her mind. And and for a second I thought that she had a kid in the car. But it's like, and I attribute that to probably some of the desensitization that I've experienced through violent video games and movies and stuff, because otherwise, or just shit on the internet.
You'll be a good person regardless. You would be a good person. That's, you know what? It's no different than what I've seen, I guess. You know what I mean? I've been playing video games my entire life. I've seen tons of crazy stuff and violent stuff. I've been playing.
And by no means does it make me want to hurt anyone.
Before I even owned firearms, I was playing games with guns. I always had guns when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
And you're not a violent person. You're not a violent person.
You're right, dude. I actually have always enjoyed guns growing
Granted, you did have a very healthy upbringing full of a lot of love and you know.
Right?
But with that being said, if you did have a shitty upbringing, whether or not you encountered violent video games or movies, I would wager to say that your parents being shitty to you would have much more of a negative effect than the media you come across, you know? Because I think that's well known that that's what makes, you know, violent people is when their parents are really shitty to them, and when other people, you know what I mean? When people are shitty to you,
you're shitty to people.
You end up being shitty to people. It's not when you see shit happening. I feel like maybe if anything, if you see bad shit happening to people, it might make you more empathetic. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy. It is. You're absolutely right. It's nuts because you can't. Yeah, but that's the thing. Though.
And think about who some of the most
blame those things. How do you feel about people that do blame those things? I
think they're just ignorant. I think that they just haven't thought about it all the way through, because it seems pretty obvious to me that that's not the case. Think of who the most violent people are in the world right now. Are people like out in the Middle East who want to behead people and send a fucking video of it. You know what I mean? They're like probably the most violent people on the planet right now, that at least that I know of, right? How much do they have nearly the access to violence in video games and movies that the average 13-year-old does?
Mad about, dude. I've been saying it. You know, like, dude,
you know, they don't have access to that shit, and they're incredibly violent anyway. And I know part of it is because they've been conditioned to think that other groups of people are like subhuman and shit like the Nazis did. The only reason they were able to do that is because they were convinced that the people they were oppressing were subhuman, that they were not equals, you know. And I enjoy, and I really.
Now I feel like you opened up a whole nother box.
How so?
Because and they've been doing that forever.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone has.
That region, yeah, everybody.
Everyone has, man. The United States has done incredibly violent shit. Nobody watched a fucking. Nobody saw a movie and then was like, let's bomb Japan. They were like, let's fuck those dudes up and teach them a lesson. I know many innocent people are going to die, but we need to do this. They weren't desensitized through the movies when they fought in the 40s. They weren't desensitized through the media to make a decision like that. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
A little touchy.
That's why I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. It's like if you're gonna go and say that, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. If for somebody who's so uninformed like me to make that realization, then why can't more educated people? Why isn't it more obvious to them? I don't understand it at all. Like it's not even a debate to me. It's like how, it's not even a debate.
The thing is, though, too, dude, is it depends on where your information is coming from in a lot of aspects.
I mean, I guess if you're like super sheltered, but in in today's day and age, like how realistically, how do you not? Everybody has a general idea of what people were like throughout human history, and that violence in there was no media, let alone violent media. So how could that even be an explanation for why people are acting today? And most people are not violent. It's like such a small percentage of people that actually hurt other people on a regular basis.
If you really think about it, the idea of somebody reporting information and getting it to us is specifically to show negative behaviors.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you're reporting on a story.
Big news today, everyone. Everything's fine. Nothing happened. It's beautiful outside.
I don't need the news.
Nobody's going to watch that.
You got to worry about, it's no different than somebody saying, oh my God, they're coming.
Yeah, you only need to know. You're only going to pay attention if you think there's something you need to be worrying about.
That goes to show you that, like, the idea of getting the word out, notifying others.
Well, yeah, I mean, they even say too, like
tell so and so.
You
gotta be worried about that.
But think about this too. If you go somewhere, if you go to a business and you have a good experience, that's just how shit should be. But if you go somewhere and you have a shitty experience, you tell the next 5 people you see about it, probably. You know what I mean? If you go to the grocery store and the cashier like throws your fucking change at you, you're gonna tell everybody about that. But if he's like, "Hey, how's your day?" Then you're not gonna go home and be like, "Dude, the cashier asked me how my day was." You know what I mean? It's like that, the negativity.
The negativity is what, yeah.
So it seems it creates the illusion. It creates the illusion that there's more negativity than there actually is.
It's the way people take stuff too.
Well, I'm saying if you don't have a lot of, if you're a sheltered person, if you've put yourself in a life situation where you're not meeting a lot of new people and you don't have a lot of friends and you watch a lot of TV and you happen to watch a lot of the news, you're going to have a misconstrued idea of the world. You're going to think that the world is very violent.
Yeah, too sheltered. You're going to see all the negativity and everything.
Yeah.
Like, what's this, like Nick Swartz and the Benchwarmers do when he comes out of the closet? Sorry. Good movie reference. That's all.
I don't remember.
It was good. It's pretty funny.
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers.
I barely remember that. Wait, was David Spade in that?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was his brother. It's David Spade's younger brother in that movie. Nick Swartzen was in the closet. Remember the son?
No.
He had that weird blonde hair that was just like cut up from here, and then it would came all the way down and like these weird.
I don't know, just barely.
All right, whatever.
Anyway, but yeah, man, I really don't think that it has a negative effect on people. But what do you think it is though? Because we clearly have like some sort of a desire to be around like think about how the zombie craze that happened, 5 years ago. How everybody was making a zombie show, zombie movie, this and that. It was like a huge, you know what I mean? When the Walking Dead was at its peak.
Everything just
And it's all about people getting ripped to shreds and stuff. And most of those people who are not violent people, but there's part of your brain that kind of shit satisfies. You know what I mean? Think about like I can't tell you. You go on Instagram and find hundreds of just like middle class, just regular innocent looking white girls who like to do makeup, and they're really good at making really gory looking fucking makeup, and they get this weird satisfaction out of making something
My
look
sister-in-law does
incredibly
that,
gory.
but it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
dude. So it's
cool.
like, but what is that? Why is it? You're like, oh, it looks really fucked up, but it's not. And
Well,
that's
this is
video
the
games. Like,
thing.
it looks like I'm really blowing
Well,
this fucking dude's head off, but I'm not. Why is that so satisfying to us?
I think especially because of the zombie thing is because you feel like the zombies don't have souls. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way you would look at it. Is it's not who I thought it's not the same person. Like, this is the thing though, dude. You don't know until I'm coming at you as a fucking zombie.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you.
the
Okay.
zombie. All of a sudden, I'm coming at you, dude. If I thought it the other way around, and it was you, dude. I would want to try to restrain you. How would I? If we had the slightest inclination that somebody could, if it was a disease.
Yeah.
Like, look at 28 Days Later. The idea, like 28 Days Later, where the zombies, it seemed like they were more infected, not so much dead, decaying, coming back to life type situation.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to try if you thought there was a possibility of a cure? Wouldn't you want to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the point.
Kill me?
I'm just confused on the point you're trying to make because
would you want to try to kill me, or do you think you would want to try to restrain?
No, probably I'd probably avoid dismembering you if I could avoid it.
Okay.
If I couldn't avoid it, you're fucking done.
Exactly.
But my point though is that people have this fascination with just being into the movies that involve this kind of stuff, and like just wanting to, they need gore and violence to be a part of their life one way or another.
You said it yourself, dude. You were like, dude, you would if you didn't want it, you wouldn't want to dismember me.
Right.
But if you knew you needed to, you would kill me.
Right.
You love the hell out of each other, dude. So
Yeah.
think about a complete stranger you've never seen before coming at you.
Yeah.
You think you would make the decision a little bit sooner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, but what I'm not necessarily talking about like real stuff. I'm talking about like why is it that it seems like just regular people, regular non-violent people find ways to fit weird, gory, violent shit into their lives?
Because it's fun.
But why is it
Because it's
fun?
fun.
Why is that fun? Is it because it's kind of practice just in case you need to really deal with it? You know what I mean?
It's fun
that's
because
that's
a
what most
lot
play
of
is. That's
people-
why anything is fun. That's why we have the capacity to have fun, because a lot of it, because when you are playing a game, if you're doing a puzzle, you're training your mind to figure shit out. If you're playing a physical game, you're training your body to react when you need it to in a dire situation.
Exactly.
That's why animals play with each other. They're wrestling. It's similar to ways that they would actually fight. And people do, a lot of people. That's why jiu-jitsu is like gotten so popular lately, because it really is like, just in case you have to kill somebody, like legit, you'll be able to fucking do it. Like how many, it's so crazy too. Like you see so many videos online of like, you can tell when somebody's highly trained in physical combat because they don't fucking punch the other person in the face. They grab them and choke them out, and they hold them down until somebody who can put handcuffs on them will handle it or something like that.
Dude, it's insane how many, and this is one of the things, and I was going to make this point, dude, is because it's fun to think about it, dude, and in the zombie idea, the whole thing of zombies, because it's fun. And this is the thing. Now, if a zombie thing happened,
Yeah.
the zombies wouldn't stand a chance, dude, because people would be cracking skulls. Because
Yeah.
of the zombie craze, zombies won't happen.
Dude, have you watched any of Westworld yet?
A trip.
Wait, you didn't watch the first season? No, you did watch the first season. You haven't watched this season.
The second season, I'm sorry.
Dude, it's so cool.
Not
It's
a
so
drop.
cool because
I haven't even heard the theme song.
obviously now the the robot. You know this. It happened at the end of the first. Joe.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't.
Well, then go watch it, and then we can talk about it.
All right.
Okay? Then go watch it. You're making me have dead air, dude.
You didn't monologue for a second. You didn't even think about it. What if I
No,
really
I don't want
did
to. I don't
walk
want to give
away?
you the satisfaction. I would disconnect the call and end it. I mean, I want a 35-minute podcast. That's pretty good.
You know I don't want to walk away. I do. I need to go see it. I need to watch
Yeah,
it.
just watch it, man. It's
Talk
really
about
good.
wanting to talk about it, so that's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just you know, it's not super shocking to me that people find these ways to sort of be violent. Yeah, I mean, I really think that there's, I mean, what is it, like 1 out of every 100 people you meet is like a fucking sociopath anyway. So of course, like one
out of every 100.
I'm pretty sure 1 in every 100 people is supposedly like a sociopath or psychopath or something like that. Because
believe that.
yeah, but most
Yeah,
of them
but
are
don't you
functioning.
think
But
people-
99% of psychopaths are functioning because they figure out how to live in the world and not. Most psychopaths are not violent.
What a misconception of that word, because it's such a good word. And I,
I
think
know.
the only reason why it's such a good word is because of what it is.
Well, it's because how the media portrays it. Back to our point, you know. It just means that parts
Well,
of your
the-
brain don't work properly. You're not capable of empathy and stuff like that. You don't quite
right.
understand human interaction, but you need to fucking function. So a lot of psychopaths and sociopaths like
learn
figure
how to
out
function in what
figure
is
out what to
quote-
do.
What is the norm? What's the norm?
Right.
Where do I need to be? How
Right,
do I fit
and-
the slot?
and they might have slightly more violent tendencies than other people, but they understand logic, and they understand logically that if I kill people, it's gonna fuck my life up. So maybe I don't do that.
That simple little thing. See, that's good parents.
Yeah, you know what? It probably is. It comes down
That's
to good
good
parenting. Yeah,
parents.
sure. Or just really clever. You know, if you don't have part of your brain handling emotions, it's just handling logic instead. Maybe your parents are less of a factor. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know, point being that, you know, of course, if 1 in every 100 people doesn't feel empathy, then 1 in every, I don't know, what, million people might actually kill other
Act on it.
people. You know what I mean?
It's a
Might
really good
actually
point.
act on it.
It's a really good point. Like statistically, what are the numbers of people that actually do decide to kill people?
It's not a lot percentage wise. Not a lot.
Well, I would almost wish we had.
I mean,
somebody
do you know anyone that has murdered another person?
I honestly
Maybe.
think I do.
Okay,
I
But-
really do think I do.
but it's a maybe.
Yeah. There's no. I don't know anybody that has really killed.
And you know a lot of people.
No. I don't know anybody that has really killed anybody, but I think I might know somebody.
You think you might. You're suspicious that you. Yeah.
I'm suspicious
Yeah.
that I know somebody that might have killed somebody.
Yeah.
And
What-
I just literally now just kind of going, oh man, wait a minute. Just now, because it was never something that I really thought about. And all of a sudden I was like, but then again, the fuck, dude, what do I know? It's fucking, people joke, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
sometimes, like, there's some, you know how some people joke about something and everybody says, oh, 50% of every joke there's truth in that.
I don't know about 50%,
No,
but maybe
I don't
a
think
dust
so at
thing.
all. I think it's very, very situational. I think it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody sees things differently and everything like that.
Mhm.
So I bet you probably.
Depends on the kind of joke.
Now I'm just wondering.
Why? Because somebody said something one day and they were kind of half joking, and you think that you know them well enough to think that they might have, and they're just trying to vent it out by joking.
I have no idea. I'm done talking about this. We're
Okay.
gonna move on now.
Anyways,
So
yeah, my point is that if this stuff really did have that much of an effect on people, way more of us would be dead. There'd be a lot more
Yeah.
killing happening.
there would be
There,
way.
a lot more. Yeah,
hmm
for sure.
I do agree with you.
Yeah, I think the whole gun debate is a joke too, honestly.
As a non-gun owner, I appreciate your outlook on that, dude.
Yeah,
because
I
it
don't. I
fucking
think
is.
it's totally a joke. Of course,
fucking-
of course, they should take all the guns away from everybody. That totally
Dude,
would
I
solve the
don't-
problem.
I
I'm just kidding.
I really do wish I could feel to a point that there was a world where I didn't want that. But because I do, just let me.
Yeah, right.
And if I do something wrong, reprimand me and take them away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't start
That's
changing
that's the thing about
little
drug.
incremental laws that are going to make the vast majority of the gun community start to buy more and more guns.
That's
When
what happens every time.
If you really want guns to go away, And if you, and I've said this before, and Morgan Freeman said it best: if you want racism to go away, you want the guns to go away, you got to stop talking about it like they're negative things. And you
I don't
need
want to go down that rabbit hole.
legitimately-
We can have this conversation another day.
Like, you
Maybe
need to-
maybe
you-
we have this conversation with someone who's not a white person one day.
yeah,
But I agree with you. The whole racism thing, you need to
it's
just stop making
let it
everything such a
go.
big
I
deal and let it
don't-
go.
Like, majority, like,
I
and
don't
it's
care.
individuals. It's individuals, and it is the masses of people that create that weird thing because it funnels people. When you want to feel a certain way, there's enough people out there to help you feel that what you're feeling.
Yeah, you get in
is
an echo
okay.
chamber. Yeah, right.
You get an echo chamber, so all of a sudden you're like, "Brrr," and
Yep.
it's no, dude. Anyway, but no, I'm talking specifically about guns.
Yeah, the
If you-
gun thing.
You
It's
gotta not worry about it, dude, because people that are gonna do horrible things with guns are the same people that are gonna do horrible things with.
well, that's my
cars,
whole point,
or
dude. It's the
trains,
same
or
conversation.
planes, And
Yeah, dude, it's the same conversation as, as the video game thing. Like there are people out there who are fucking violent and want to hurt other people. And sure, okay. If they have a fully automatic weapon, it is a lot easier for them to kill a lot of people. Fine. But that's no reason to punish people who are never going to do anything wrong.
agreed.
That doesn't make any
I don't
sense to
wanna-
me.
then let's-
Because
yeah,
you
we
know
should
what?
move
Think
on.
about how many
I don't
fucking
even
car
do that.
accidents happen all the time. How many people abuse that privilege, and nobody's talking about taking cars away.
Do you know that sleep deprived accidents?
They're like the number one reason people crash their
I
cars,
just
right?
heard about this, dude.
Did you watch the Joe Rogan? The Joe Rogan
Oh,
one
dude,
about it?
that was one of the best, most recent Rogan podcasts.
I thought it was good. It wasn't like mind blowing. Another person said to me it was
I
mind
really
blowing too.
enjoyed
I
it
was
a
like,
lot.
yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Really,
it.
I enjoyed all of them, but no, but that was really
I
wild.
fell off with it, but
yeah, I couldn't believe that was pretty wild.
there was some really good
Think about it,
tidbits
dude,
in there
I
for
have
sure.
definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, been in worse situations, sleep deprived, driving, than I've ever been. But granted, I'm like, I pay attention. I feel like I'm responsible drink and driver kind of person.
Quite an inflammatory statement, but anyway.
Knocking on the wood right now.
Yeah.
Especially now, dude. I stay home. I don't drink a lot when I'm outside.
Yeah, I don't either, man.
No. So it's a really scary thought to think about that, because you know what, like exactly like this doctor said, there's no drinking and drugs and stuff like that is a delayed reaction.
Mhm.
Sleeping is no reaction.
It's none. Yeah, right. That's right.
None. It's
It's
no
not,
reaction.
you don't react. But yeah, so nobody's talking about like forcing mandatory 8 hours a night by law or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just that's the toughest thing. Is like I get it. You know what? You're right. If you could magically snap your fingers and make all the guns disappear, less people would die. It's
Less
true.
people would die.
It's true. That's fine.
It's true. It would be
But-
a lot harder and a lot
but-
easier to convict people, especially nowadays.
Yeah, but
Reaching out and touch somebody, but then again, what are you going to do? What about bows and arrows, Jake? Jake, what about bows and arrows?
what about pressure cooker bombs?
What
What
about
about
pressure
you know what I mean?
What
What about
like, dude, what about cars?
you can? Did you ever see the thing where the guy made
What about cooking?
the guy made a bomb out of things that you can buy past security at the stores in the airport?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Mentos and soda.
Well, it was like a thermos and like some other shit. I don't know exactly, but he like legit made an explosive device out of things that you can buy after you get by security.
All right, you got that? You heard that in the news?
No, I don't think so. I thought,
How did you hear about that?
Jesus, was years
Because
ago.
that's something that shouldn't have been reported on.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
Right.
Somebody heard about that and was like, dude, holy shit, dude, don't tell anybody about that. Because that's
Yeah.
something that is gonna it's a scare tactic, man. It's something that
Yeah,
freaks
but he
people
did
out,
it.
and
He
then
did it
makes
to make a
people
point.
Curious, dude.
He did it to make a point, though. He did it to make a point that like you can go through all this trouble and inconvenience all these people and spend all this money to try to make all this shit not happen. But it's always a cat and mouse game, dude. It's like hackers and computer security. There's always gonna be something that gets
It's the
through.
human mind.
Somebody wants it bad enough, they're gonna get it, dude. Somebody wants it bad enough, they're gonna get it. If somebody wants to hurt you bad enough, they're gonna do it. If somebody wants to hack your computer bad enough, they're gonna find a way to do it. You know
Wow,
what I
dude,
mean?
I think you just ended this podcast. Did you smell a dirty fart? Because
Yes. Yeah, coming out of your face.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. And that's I think is one of the things that it really does, dude. It summed up exactly what we're talking about,
Yeah.
because you're right. When I said before about video games, I do think, but I still don't think that it's not somewhat of an influence. Do I think it specifically makes people violent? No. Do I think it makes people a little bit more comfortable with it? Yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're gonna go
It
kill
doesn't
people.
turn people into murderers.
No, it doesn't turn
By
people into
no means
murderers, no.
whatsoever. And that is
Like
yes.
maybe I could
Not
see maybe, and there'd be no real way to test it, but I could see maybe if somebody was like, I want to kill everyone in my school, and then they watched a bunch of movies about people shooting other people, then they'll go, oh, maybe I should go about doing that by shooting them.
Okay, listen. This is what we're going to do is because Call of Duty is a perfect example of these games.
Yeah.
How many people have died from eating mushrooms trying to grow into huger versions of themselves?
Probably zero.
Legit. Probably the #1 game ever purchased ever across the planet.
Yeah, maybe.
Mario Brothers.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, kids. There have been cases of kids doing dumb shit like that, like trying to fly out of the window
People
because
eat
blah blah blah.
Dude, people eat freaking laundry detergent.
Oh, the Tide
What
Pod
is going
thing,
on?
dude? Yeah, I mean, there's no TV shows talking about people eating Tide Pods, and that seems to be a big problem. So
That I
don't
think
know.
is definitely.
I think that might have got blown up. If I'm suspicious that maybe that happened way less times than it seemed like as well, but what do I know?
Yeah, the 4 videos. The 4 videos.
I mean, do you
everybody's like, what an
do
idiot.
you even know a person who knows a person who knows somebody that did it?
Dude, I've never even seen a video of anybody even doing it. So
I didn't
no.
even know that Tide Pods were even like a thing until this.
It was
happened.
over.
Yeah, like I heard about all of this stuff, and then
What
like
about the
a
people
month
that were lighting
later,
themselves on fire though, dude? Stand in the shower with the freaking oil.
people have been doing that forever.
Exactly.
People have been doing that forever. People, I mean, since the Jackass days. I'd say, if anything, Jackass was a pretty bad influence on the public.
Yeah. Well, but that is in itself is the.
I think that was
connection all of
proven.
us have had. People have had more so. Of the
But-
media itself, where it's more mainstream, you're going to be
but-
able to have the access to these certain things, dude. You're
But
going to
with-
see this occur and see people making money by doing stupid, crazy, nutsy stuff or whatever the situation is. You're going to do it, and you put it out there. People still watch it.
Well, I don't have
do
a
it, and
problem.
It's not a bad thing about. No, I don't either.
I don't have a problem with people
But-
endangering themselves. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're gonna light yourself on fire, you deserve every square inch of third-degree burns you get on your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, well, whatever. Like, if people are gonna, jump off the roof to fucking get YouTube views, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Let them do it, dude. I don't think anybody should be stopping people from doing that. Like, if you are so if there's a problem there, it goes much deeper than
It goes much farther than what,
YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
you immediately, like, if you're gonna do anything, find out who that person's parents are and sit them down and be like, yo, you done fucked up real bad.
You can't do that to people, though.
No, you can't.
Jake, that's offensive. You can't tell people how to raise their kids.
No, I'm just saying you need to tell them,
Can't
like,
tell
this is
people
your
how to raise
fault.
their kids. You can't.
No.
You know?
You don't have to tell them what to do with you can just tell them this is your fault.
Yeah, my buddy sent me this picture the other day, and it had a T-shirt on it, and it says, "My AR-15 30-round mag identifies itself as a 10-round mag." So we're good, right?
I like that. It's clever.
Isn't that good?
It's clever.
Isn't
I
that
like
good?
that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It identifies as a 30-round mag, so
A
I
10.
really prefer you not judge it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's allowed to use the 10-round mag bathroom
Dude,
because
listen,
it
man.
identifies
I
as such.
100% support anybody that wants to do anything with themselves.
Absolutely, but don't
100%.
pretend like I'm supposed to give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
If I accidentally call you, then now granted, this has never happened to me in my whole life. Nobody's ever told me that I called them the wrong thing. And if I'm suspicious that maybe I'm about to maybe use the wrong pronoun, I'll just avoid using one entirely and move the fuck on with my life.
Right? I don't know, dude. This is a whole
don't- I
nother
don't care.
conversation.
It is
too.
another
No, you know what? It's
conversation.
not a whole another conversation.
It's
No.
really
It
that
doesn't
people
affect me, and maybe
people
because
feel
of that aspect. Like I know plenty of gay people, and I don't give a shit about any of it. I don't care. Go ahead. Good for you, man. Yeah, I like women.
do not care at all.
I
Do
don't
not
care.
do not care
I
at
don't
all.
care. I'm happy for you. Good.
Yeah, I don't.
No difference between mine and your interaction. I can have fun with everybody that is having fun and enjoying life. And
Well, you know what though? I
being
think you
kind
know what
to
I.
others.
You know what I think the problem is, Joe, is it becomes an identity politics thing where you and I do not walk around. You don't put a sticker on your car that makes sure everybody knows that you're straight. Okay, you don't go around saying as a straight man, blah blah blah. You don't go around making it blatantly obvious of your orientation. You know what I mean? You don't go out of your way to make sure people know who you've decided that you want to have sex with, or
But
not
what
decided
about people that are
or
gluten
whatever.
free and vegans, Jake? You need to know, dude. Because if you don't know, dude, they may ingest something
That's the thing. It's like
that
if you
can make them fart or shit harder later.
if you've made a life decision that you feel the need to tell the entire world about, maybe you should really analyze that decision and think about why you're actually saying that. Because maybe you don't actually feel that way. Maybe
I
you
don't know. I just
maybe
feel like I might have said something about people with a medical condition.
well, there certainly are out there people with
Yes.
medical conditions, but it's a small percentage of the
I
actual
may have
people
been
who claim
offensive. I may
to.
have just been offensive.
Are you talking about?
People that maybe there's certain people that you need to be gluten free. There's good reasons to be.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well, even if I mean, arguably everybody's at
complete-
least
yeah.
gluten sensitive.
I don't know
but,
why I use that as an example for the specific topic. But then again,
But
there
I know
is a
people who
rabbit
are
hole
gluten free, dude, and
that
they
we
fucking.
thought.
Well, you know what though? If you are gluten free, if you're like legit have celiac disease, you kind of have to talk about it all the time. Well, you don't have to talk about it all the time, but like if food comes up, you kind of have to mention
Yeah, you
it.
kind of make
Because
sure.
like if
yeah,
you're
no,
at work,
it's a yeah.
yeah, like if you're at work
That's what I'm saying.
and they're having a fucking potluck, and people don't know that you have a dietary restriction, you ain't
Yeah,
eating.
they need
You
to
ain't
know.
eating it.
They need to know. Yeah,
Because people aren't going to go out of their way unless they feel like it's necessary.
exactly.
You know.
That's why I apologize because I realized that like the example I used for what we were talking about.
But if you're gonna make like if you're gonna make a decision to be outside of or whatever, if you're gonna go out of your way to be outside of the norm, just be prepared to be
to
be on
find
the
that
sidelines,
adversity
like
where people are going to question
Yeah.
it and people might feel somewhat uncomfortable. In this, I don't know, dude.
and I don't want to claim that people choose.
It's no different than somebody reacting oddly if they see that I'm carrying a firearm.
Sure,
Whoa,
yeah, sure,
what
right.
you have a gun?
Yeah.
Do you have a firearm on you? Yeah.
Well, dude,
why?
I have no fucking problem with guns whatsoever.
Exactly.
But on the
there's
rare
people out there,
occasion,
dude,
but
that if
on,
they-
but on the rare occasion that I do spot somebody out in public that has a gun, A, they're not concealing it properly. If somebody is untrained as me can spot it, and B, I do sometimes been like, "Whoa, that dude's got a gun," and like I just feel like I need to clock that. Like I need to just be like,
see, this is what's crazy.
"That guy over
dude.
there has a gun."
You know what, Jake? I don't think I've seen a gun on somebody since before I got my permit.
I think maybe
don't
once I've seen it.
even
I think
look
once
for it.
I've seen it.
I don't even look for it. I've seen it one time that
I don't look
remember
for
being
it.
Like,
I don't really know what to look for because I know if you're trained, at least in movies, there seem to be certain people that are trained to know where to look and how to spot another person concealing a gun.
you got to give them the ocular pat down.
The ocular pat down. Exactly.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Gonna have to monologue for a second because Mr. Joe
Gotta pee.
doesn't hold it.
Joe gotta pee.
And go.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the whole thing is that Joe and I don't have firsthand experience with being any sort of minority or person who faces like a real adversity, and if that's the case, all power to you in dealing with that. But I feel like a lot of people who claim to be in certain subcultures or subcategories of society probably chose to be there, to be part of some sort of subculture or sub-society. And some of them legit do feel a certain way, and some of them legit were born a certain way, which is totally legitimate. But I mean, I feel like it's so ridiculous to not even be able to claim that, like, if somebody is, I don't know, claims to be like a different gender or something, that it's totally out of the question to even approach the idea that like maybe they're just like maybe there's something wrong with your brain, like maybe you need some kind of mental counseling or whatever. You You know what I'm saying, Joe? It's like there have been many cases of people who feel like they're in the wrong gender body and they get gender reassignment surgery, and they feel no fucking better about it after they get the surgery.
Well,
So
that's what
happened there?
I've heard and seen that like it's not good.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing is even I you know what, dude? I feel for people. I don't know.
I mean, people should absolutely have the sovereignty
cannot
to
even
make that
imagine what
decision.
life- Yes,
But
I
like
cannot-
maybe let's do a little bit more prerequisite studying. Like, hey, if you feel like Joe, if you ever come to me and you say, "Listen, man, I realize that all the anxiety I've ever felt in my life is because I'm a woman, so I'm going to go to the doctor and get my penis removed. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you spend a lot of time really, really making sure that's what you want. Like really, really making sure because I care about you and I want you to really, truly be happy. And if you think that's the route you want to go, let's really, truly explore like maybe like every option under the sun to maybe make you feel better before we start fucking lopping parts of your body off that you can't get back.
I don't disagree with you, dude.
Try every
But
other
I
option
do
under
not,
the sun.
I do not doubt that it exists. And I
Oh,
do
it
not-
for sure exists,
without
but
a
I
doubt
would
that
wager that it's a percent of the people that actually do it. 100 out of 100 out of 100.
of people that do it. Yeah, but that's it's I can't imagine what it must feel like. To
But
not
how do you?
feel-
Yeah, I mean,
feel comfortable in your own skin, Jake. I can't imagine, dude. I can't.
yeah,
I
but
can't.
typically a
Well,
lot
the
of
only
these
thing I
same
can-
people have. You know, I feel like it's not. It's usually not people. You know what? I don't even know. I don't know anybody.
I don't feel like
that.
either one of us should even start to
Yeah,
speculate
it's hard.
a
It's
conversation
hard.
about this because we
It
have
just-
absolutely no idea.
What it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, the camera just went way.
I think
out of
I like
focus,
leaned or something.
so it threw me way off.
I think it's trying to focus on what's in the center, and if it's not me,
yeah.
it's just like
Why
why
does it do
bother?
that?
If
Look
it's
at
not me
you.
in the center of the
Look
camera,
at
it's like
you.
why
It's a
bother
really
focusing?
nice camera.
Yeah, it was real expensive. It was like $35.
You spent 30. Where?
Baller,
What kind of job do you have?
bro.
Dude, 35.
More like what kind of job don't I have?
A bazinga.
Zinger. Yeah, I don't know,
So
man.
what
I
do
kn-
you've been playing with your phone almost this whole time?
Nope.
You were the phone.
It's my putty. My phone's over there. I wasn't using my phone.
my
You got the
putty
putty
right here.
too? Yeah, I've just been playing with my putty. I'm not playing with my phone.
You playing with your putty? Well, listen, dude, you're looking at your putty a lot.
Yeah.
We're looking at your fucking putty.
Dude, our New Zealand boy didn't join us this time.
That's all right, dude. I don't care.
I don't think
care
he
about
got
it.
on till
I
8:30
shouldn't
last
say I
time
don't
anyway.
care. I started just feeling really like.
What? Like
this-
what?
this-
Like we're
I
done?
went
Like we're
very
good?
different. Yeah, because the conversation we had and the little monologue I did at the beginning kind of like made me think one way specifically about the video game aspect and media. Well, I don't know. Dude. My brain. I just feel like I haven't been in it.
Did you
feel
see
like I
the
haven't
did you
been in
see
this
the
one.
did you see the graphics? Did you end up noticing what they are
No,
on
I
the
did
YouTube?
not.
You didn't even
No,
I told
now
you
I'm
to
gonna
go look.
back again because I even talked about this when I was monologuing.
Talked about what?
Talked about how the where the hell did it go? That was so weird. I talked about how I wanted to go and see how you sent me. You sent me to watch this.
Oh.
You know, because it was in my headphones. Hold on, stop talking for. Well, no, you monologue a little bit.
Why don't you just mute the YouTube video?
Glue guns. What are those, dude? Glue guns are staple. What? All right.
bunch,
I see it.
bunch of guns.
Bunch of guns.
Grease gun, glue gun, staple gun.
Oh. Dude, I was firing my gun this weekend, man.
Yeah.
We went to the range. We were doing target acquisition, which means there's a bunch of triangles, squares, circles. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's different numbers in each of them from 1 to 3, or
Okay.
A, B, C, numbers and letters. And then there's 4 colors:
Okay.
green, red, yellow, and blue. And it's a grid.
Mhm.
And then you got to say, you know, 2 yellow.
Mhm.
So then you go down and you shoot everything that's 2 in yellow.
Somebody else calls it out.
Somebody else calls it out for you. 2 yellow. So in the middle of doing this, man, my buddy goes, Circle square to Jay. Jay goes, and all of a sudden we all stand there, and all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, it was a real rough one, dude. It was like every single thing was like crazy." Well, besides that, dude, I'm sitting there and I'm shooting, and my sights came off on my firearm.
Mm-hmm.
The front sights with a gun, you basically have your rear sights,
Yeah.
and then your front sights at the end of your barrel.
Yeah.
The front sights came off, dude, and I'm looking down the thing, and all of a sudden my red dot, like the dot in the red, it just went, and the whole thing was sideways. I'm like, holy crap! Broke down the gun, took it apart, put it back together, kept going. But it was nuts, dude. So it's the first time it's ever happened where all of a sudden,
Wow.
none of my buddy was like, dude, just like, give me it, man. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm like, all right. It was hard. It's hard. It's hard not to shoot with front sights.
Hmm.
It was impressive. It was the first time it happened, but I still kept it going. And then
Yeah.
I shot something probably about 30 yards away, maybe 30
Well,
yards.
hey, man, if you're in Walmart, somebody comes in, they want to rob that sumbitch, your sights might not always stay where they're supposed to be, so you need to be trained up on that. What?
Yep.
Sound about right?
Ooh, bang my
Cool.
knee. That was a hard. Oh, dude, speaking of banging stuff, dude, I hit my nuggets
Your
today. at work.
beanbag?
Hard. Bean bagger, dude.
Oof.
We were going to move a big pallet of stuff, dude, and I went and was like trying to like rock it,
Uh-huh.
and I went up hard the wrong way, like judged it wrong. Ding, stomach started hurting, dude. I just had
Oh.
to sit there and jump a couple times.
Yep.
I'm like,
Stomp
you know,
it out.
like crazy. I actually feel like I handled it well, but it was
Yeah.
not. Nope. Not
Yeah,
fun.
because it's like you get hit in the nuts and you're like, you know,
dude,
maybe I should just kill myself.
it's.
Maybe if I were just dead, this would be over.
I don't even know why I brought it up because I literally feel like a lump in my throat. Because it's fucking,
It's the worst, dude.
It's the worst, man.
It's the worst.
You know what's so funny, dude, is I always said, like, you know what? Love them to death. God bless them all. Women go through childbirth. And we
Mhm.
have absolutely no idea what that feels like.
It never will.
And we never will.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa
No way
with
that
the
we can
nuts.
compare.
Yep.
But a dude getting hit in the nuts, hands down, all of us agree, it's the worst. And all women agree childbirth is the worst.
That's fine. They have their thing. We have our thing.
We have our thing.
So it makes us
I-
different.
It makes us different. It makes us different.
Yep. Yep. On that note, let's go play
Okay,
GTA.
bye.
Bye. Dude, Dane was on playing GTA at like 5:30
Was he really?
or 6 or something like that. Yeah, I saw him. Like I was like getting dinner
Blah,
ready,
blah,
and
blah.
he's like online.
That's awesome.
He was playing like yesterday or the day before, playing story mode.
Yeah.
He's into it,
He
dude.
said he was gonna.
He's into it. Has he
Let's
never
do
played
this.
it? He never played story mode?
He said he did. He did.
Oh,
He
okay.
played in the old one.
Okay.
All right, dude. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else did. Hope
Same.
everybody enjoys this one. I feel like this was a good one. I really do. Hopefully we didn't offend people, but I did have fun.
We
both
might have
monologued a little.
offended somebody, and if we did,
I
you know,
guarantee
follow-
you we better.
yeah,
have.
I mean, you know, if you're offended, you're free to be offended, and that's fine. And
Yes,
you know,
we apologize.
if you want-
and
if-
we mean no harm.
yeah, I mean, I don't want any harm to anybody, but it's like, you know, I feel, I don't know, if you're offended by something that we said, then make sure you really feel the way you think you feel about it.
Bas make a sanjit.
What?
Bas make a sanjit.
I don't know what you're saying there.
They dwell.
Okay. All right. See you next time.